Welcome to the best damn podcast of your life. Welcome to the Local Pundit. I'm Josh Anthony. This is your Wrexham daily news and update show, the Breakfast Club, ×2, because we had breaking news earlier where Paul Mullen has been loaned out to Wigan Athletic. And we'll talk about that later on in the podcast. But lots of things I want to get to. And I may even open up the show out for everybody today. But first of all, I want to also wish happy birthday to Free Pugs Show. There you go. Happy birthday. Special shout out there, too. But always a good one, June 23rd. So there you go. You are 4 days in front of producer Ann's birthday. So happy birthday to you, Free Pugs, 21, whatever you are. I don't know how old you are. If you want to share that, there you go. There you go. But anyways, thanks for coming in. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the Local Pundit, we are live every day with breaking news. We also do a little side talk as well and get off topic, which is really fun. But tonight we have a topic. It says Wrexham Reloaded. As we're going through this process, as we're going through and we're making the adjustments, people are going out, things are coming in. Parkinson has a puzzle that he's trying to put together. So we're going to talk about that. The Mullen move is official, so we'll touch base on that. The rumors are swirling around. Also, we're going to talk about Tom Lawrence. What do y'all think about that? And what we think. Actually, Patty may come in too. What do you think about Tom Lawrence maybe possibly coming in? He's a cam. They said he's a striker. And we'll kick through that, and we'll follow up again with everybody after we get a process after a few hours of having the legend Super Paul Mullen, who's gone to Wigan. So, but anyways, thanks for coming in. I will start this off where, listen. We're walking through the summer right now, and like I said, we brought in Hardy. Players are going out. There's rumors are happening. There's 2 new players possibly coming, and we'll see what happens if that's going to go down. But the article that caught my eye earlier in regards to everything was the one at the leader, and I'm going to break it down for you too. Wrexham are set for preseason testing with 1 new signing, and I'll bring this down in a second. So the Wrexham players are set to return for testing this week. Phil Parkinson is not concerned with the shortage of new signings at this stage of the summer window. Now, that is a very confident statement, and we'll get to his quotes in a second here too. That is a very confident statement considering he just left his talisman, who wasn't I don't want to say effective, who wasn't part of the squad last season, played bit parts, Paul Mullen, who just left. Now, he obviously knew that Paul was going. But with Mullen to Wigan, Hardy in, and does that create squad math problems? I don't think so necessarily, but it does create problems for Parkinson because he's trying to build a new squad in a championship where it's sort of unknown. It is absolutely the wild, wild west. It's absolutely the wild, wild west because there was turnover 18 managers last season. Some were coming in, some are coming out, but also you have to put the puzzle together. So, we have to talk about our preseason, but I think we also have to let Parkinson go through his puzzle process. And also we need to have patience. Okay. I know we want signings. I know we want to go and we want to say get 6 guys today. You got drones flying over shit. You got all these rumors happening. And yes, we're going to be collected to everybody under the sun. So again, what we do know. So let's start with the puzzle. Say, let's open the box up and let's see where we're at right now. What we do know that Mullen is gone. Okay. Fletcher is gone. Now, I think obviously this clears space for us, which I think we have to let people go out to let people come back in. I said to Patty earlier, and I think Patty may join at some point. It's hard for us, I think, to get players exited out, especially, and get your thoughts in the chat too. I want the chat chatting tonight. I want the chat going off on a Monday night. It's hard for us to get rid of players. 1, for sentimentality, which was today, and 2, because of wages. Okay, now championship wages are different than League One wages, obviously. But our players that we're at right now that we're going to get rid of, and yes, this is no shade against Paul Mullen, but to get him, League One wages are different. So, anyways, what I want to say is it clears room for more of a forward line that's already very jam packed, and also again with this puzzle, think about the puzzle that Parkinson's put together. And I want to give you his quotes in a second here, too. We got Sam Smith, we got Jay Rodriguez, Ollie Palmer, Jack Marriott, and now Ryan Hardy from Plymouth. Okay. And one in there that sticks out, which we were talking about earlier, was the Ollie Palmer of it, too. Will he be around talking about this right now in the Parkinson quotes? I don't think so. Now, Patty made a great point earlier today. Go back and watch that show. That he thinks Palmer might wait around. Maybe he's comfortable sitting there and not leaving because of his wages, and he has other interests too. But I think at this stage right now, I think he's going to be forced out. So this comes with the puzzle piece. This comes with the puzzle piece here. With only having one new sighting so far, I like the fact with Parkinson's quotes that he's not getting panicked. Okay. If he was panicked, oh shit, we're going to die. That's a movie quote. Someone grab that when you get a second. You'll know what it is. You want a steady man at the helm or woman at the helm, but in this case, it's Parkinson. And I like that. I had said after we got promoted and we're in the championship, no matter what, we will have a steady hand. And I think this is the second coming of Parkinson. And he's going to be backed, and he knows this league. Do not sleep on Wrexham. I'll say that again. Do not sleep on Wrexham the next season coming up. Parkinson, the backing, everything, and the magic. We have a little bit of magic fairy dust. We don't know what we're going to look like, but his quotes right here has said, there are talks ongoing, talking about transfers, but we had a good start to start the preseason with. He's comfortable there. It's important that the ones we bring in really add to the group, both football-wise and character-wise. That's one thing we always talk about too. And I think Rob and Ryan, I just saw him. He was at Cannes. He said, talking about the character. So that's a very calm saying right there. It's like, he reminds me a lot more as I hear him more and more of Sir Alex Ferguson when I hear him speak. Old school, knows his team, knows what he wants, knows the character and the makeup he wants to get in there. So I kind of like what he's saying here. We have 27 senior squad players on the books and only 25 available spots in the championship. So outgoings will be inevitable. Mullen, obviously, surprised or not surprised, he was, in my opinion, he was always going to go. Okay. In my opinion, he was always going to go. The last two Welcome to Wrexham episodes said to me, he's going. Okay. There's a good swan song for him for that. It's not goodbye forever. It's goodbye for now. Now, if I'm reading into all this, having 27 senior players on the squad, only fitting 25, I could see another 5 players going out, maybe 6. I'm just, and then filling that back up, and then filling back the tank up. That's me being a little ambitious, but we're going to have to make moves. At least 2 more players are going to go. Okay, at least 2 more players are going to go. Loans, whatever it's going to be. And one of them, I think, is Ollie Palmer and Billy Boyle. But let's be honest. We have to make bold moves. And if I think Parkinson and the squad, having Mullen go, I think that it's heart is always there, but I think Parkinson is going to have to lose a little bit of nostalgia if we want to go forward and be progress in the championship. What say you about that? I want to know. I want to know what you think about that. What say you? Please get into the chat. I'm going to read your chat in a second. I just have a couple of notes here I have that I want to get out to. So bringing in players like Hardy with pace proved in the championship. This is the piece of the puzzle that we need for experience in the championship. I know I'm kind of picking on Mullen because that's kind of, I'm not picking on Mullen, but this is top of mind today because of what happened. You can't say that Mullen would be better. No one's saying this. I'm not saying anyone's saying this. We're just trying to make this puzzle piece fit together and understand the narrative that's going. We can't say that having Mullen in the squad over a Hardy is better for Wrexham moving forward. You just can't. Nostalgia can't win on that. You know what I'm saying? That is it. But Parkinson is intimating he's not going to blow the squad up. He's going to add to the squad. So be prepared. I think we're going to make some really high-level signings. I really do. And with the evolution of the squad, we're not imploding the squad. I think that's a good thing. When I say we need to turn the squad over, we're not going to implode the squad. We're going to evolve the squad. So he's playing chess. Parkinson's playing chess, not checkers. Trust me. I've been in a checkers match. 5-year-old can beat me. Chess, no way. Yeah, absolutely. So some things might sting, but emotionally, but tactically, I think this all makes sense. Okay, let's get to that too. I want to Bono, Colorado, who got there too. Hey, Carol and HR, ain't no drama here. What's going on? What happened? Why Palmer out with prejudice? There you go. Okay, I'm trying to catch up here. Esteban says, I think Wrexham played the last few matches as if we were already in the championship side. They showed they could learn and adjust quickly in the last two, and they could play with with calm flair. I agree with that too. Kim says no. The chances of Mullen coming back are slim to none. Well, okay. And again, the puzzle pieces. I'm talking about the overall puzzle pieces of the squad, and we'll talk about Mullen a little bit later on. Actually, I'm going to bring people in to have that conversation. But I'm talking about how the structure of Parkinson and what he wants to how he wants to establish the squad and team and evolve. I think there's a lot to take that to. Chicky Sealar says, I'm still waiting for that sign that really brings the heat. I think the heat's going to come in and we're going to need a bomb on it. I see, Lord. I think we're going to have to put a bomb. I think there's going to be a signing or two that's going to be like, damn, how did we do that? I agree with you. So good shout right there. Good shot right there. Ted Nelson says, door is still open for Mullen based on his year's League One performance. We shall see. If he's mediocre, yeah, okay, then he'll probably be sold. But I think what we're doing, and by the way, I'm going to drop it in the chat so anyone wants to pop in tonight, because we already had a show today, and it is summertime, and I want to make sure that everyone's having their say. The deal with Mullen, it's a good deal for everybody, so I'll put that too. Nikki D says, I think he scores 12 goals by Christmas. And I have Christmas to game. I have a shot. Hold on one second. Sorry, I'm trying to. I think he scores 12 goals by Christmas. And depending on, we're not going to bring it back. We're not going to bring it back. If he scores 12 goals at Christmas, he's in League One, dude. You know, Nikki D, that's a good shout, though. That's a good shout, though. I agree with that. Frankie, yes. Mullen was so close. He's not far off his best. His shots at goal were marginally off, but he fell into the trap of looking for the easy way out, and by diving a lot. He did that too. I don't want to make this about Mullen. We'll talk. We had the Mullen show earlier. We will talk about Mullen. I know I was putting that in the insight right there, but you know, the squad, and again, this puzzle piece that Parkinson's talk about back into the article said, you know, there's only one fresh face coming in, but I don't want to make it about Paul Mullen, but Paul Mullen officially going does send signs of the puzzle is starting to work out. We're starting to slither through the grass and figure out how it's going to go too. Josh, when are we signing Josh as our PR manager? Wrexham Global Fan Channel. Who the hell is that? Who are you? Wrexham Global Fan Channel. I don't know, but I'm available. If you need a CV resume, let me know. I have a body of work, and I don't dye my hair. How's that? And I'll work my ass off for Wrexham. So you just let me know when we can do this. I'm looking for work. Open for work. If I'm on my LinkedIn page, open for work in many different ways. Within reason, within reason. And I will not work for free. I'll put that in my resume too. Frankie S. Palmer to me was actually going to be really good stuff. He had the shape and model of his game, what Fletcher was doing, be physical with opponents and tidy up his feet work with the ball. You like Palmer. Okay, there you go. Paul Kelly's talking about Lawrence. We're going to talk about Lawrence in a minute here too. And let me see here. Bono. Bono. I was applying to Carol H about whether there was any drama about LBC. Okay. I don't know. Okay, sorry. I missed it in the chat. What is our current number of players? Can we have a total of 25? Correct. Yes, 25. We're at 27. Please send through your resume. I don't know who you are. DM me. DM me. There you go. And where are you? Please send through your resume. Global Fan Channel. I have no idea who that is, but I like the name. Within reason, says Reliable Express. And Carol says, I love Mullen, but he caused his issues. Oh, wow. This is an interesting one. It affected how we recruited, how we played. Parky has now the chance to implement the full vision of without a few hindrances. It's exciting stuff. Yeah, you said that earlier today, Carol. And I think that was a great thing. Yeah, a great thing to put into the chat. And Esteban says he's going to work his ass off for Wrexham. Okay. What else? Parkinson once said, he said about talks were ongoing. Good squad. all this stuff. Last quote from Parkinson back in here too, talking about the squad coming back in, getting their tests. He said, "We have got some test days this week, but it is not as if we're going to preseason short on players. And it's important that the ones we bring in really had a group, and we got both football-wise, obviously the character-wise. Okay, that's a repeat from there too. I agree with him on that too. But these guys, we have to. Parkinson has to be pressuring them to get some players in early. I know he probably says, "Hey, wait till the right player comes in." But I would assume that he probably wants to get the players in a little early. Ryan Hardy's one in. I don't think we're doing one in, one out for that puzzle piece. I don't think that's happening. But yeah, you have one video out. Global fan channel scammers. Okay, okay, good. Sorry. Anyways, my point is like. I think Parkinson is pushing, is pressing, not pushing. He wants those right players. Ken Dubskin, what? This is a scam. This is a scam. Oh my God. Why would we? He's just sitting there looking at me. Weird face. Just weird. Oh, yeah. There you go. I was weird. Just Ken, just literally just sitting there. I think he's smoking a cigarette. Ken, you can't smoke cigarettes. Yeah, it's not good for you down under. There's warning labels on there. Hello.
Hey, how you going, buddy?
I mean, we're going 6 to midnight real fast.
This is looking good. Someone's reviewing you and looking at getting you in for PR.
Well, apparently it's a scam. The global fan, I don't know who it is. It probably is a scam. I have no idea. No one wants to hire me, man. I'm unhireable. Look at me. Look at this guy.
Oh, I don't know. I reckon you could get definitely a consulting job.
Yeah. A consulting job for sure. Yeah. What's up, my friend? Are you going to fit with us at Wrexham Reloading with the puzzle pieces? Talking about Mullen? Yeah.
Well, had to happen, obviously. But what I'm most looking forward to is new signings incoming.
You think that's coming? I've heard 2 are coming in. Not from the drone guy. Not from that. Jesus H. Jesus. Not from that.
I think we might see Kit this week with any luck.
Well, I think we already saw the Kit.
I think that was a fake.
Really?
The blue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fake.
You think it's fake news?
That was a photo. No, not so much fake news, but it was a photoshopped, not the official.
Okay, fair. Well, yeah. So you're thinking that you want kits, you want all this stuff. And I agree. I think you need
kits this week. Someone else gone this week. New signings next week.
Thursday is. You know what Thursday is?
Thursday's Champ Chat?
Well, no,
Thursday's. No, tomorrow we're doing part 2 of that Champ Chat. What's Thursday, Josh?
It's the fixture drop.
Well, I'll take that back. Thursday is Friday for me.
Your Friday. Hold on, we're going to accuse everyone in the goddamn world. Your Friday, my Thursday is the drop of the I was going to say the testicles, but no, at the fixtures.
So I'll know a day before you.
Yeah, kind of that. Yeah,
I'm in the future.
Yeah, you are in the. No, yes, you will. You'll know before me, but after me. Yeah, exactly. Same time. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to Wrexham night. Welcome to Wrexham night. I don't know what that means. Okay. Yeah, I totally got off track here.
Well, you might have meant welcome to Wrexham, right? Welcome, the last episode of Welcome to Wrexham. So you've got your movie show, your launch.
Friday. Yeah.
Boom.
But Friday, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be square. I will be there.
So they'll play the episode that dropped last week and this week and the finale.
Yeah, that's right. Which was a good one last week. That'll tear at your heartstrings for sure, by the way.
I really liked it. And I mean, what a story. Obviously, it was, the Wickham match and for anybody. Should we do the spoiler? I mean, it's been out.
I know. Well, hold on, before we spoil, someone just woke up.
Hey, someone's out of bed. Come on in.
I thought
yeah, I think just wake up.
What time is it for you, Paddy?
2:50.
It's ass o'clock. That's what it is.
Wow. There's a man that's committed to the show.
I know. He's like, just let me know. He said, I'll set my alarm. Yeah.
I did. And I heard it and I woke up and fell asleep again.
I woke up this morning to see the replay of these two reprobates doing the show about Paul Mullen.
I know. It was good. We had some, I thought it was the best show ever.
It was the best show. It was the best local pundit show today.
Well, let's try to not beat it then. How can we do that?
Oh, no, pretty hard not to beat it now that Paddy's here.
Ricky Gervais is here. Paddy,
So Paddy, well, actually, Paddy, is the blue kit just a Photoshop or is it the real deal?
Yeah, it's Photoshop.
Yeah, I agree.
You can see that he's gotten more transparent.
Yeah.
So someone was just playing with the color settings.
Could have been Bigfoot, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Could have been.
You mean McLean's tan looked a little bit lighter because he's got my skin complexion.
He became a ghost. He can literally see through him. Plus, I did look into it just a little bit because the other two that were with him, there's zero change on their outfits as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's not as if the three of them had been altered.
Okay.
In any way. So
yeah, we'll get the Ken wants kits because Ken wants kits. But listen, did you guys have them? I don't know if you talked about the Macron. I know we did a show. I did a show on it. I don't know if you guys talked about it. Not to shift gears here, which shift the gears. Did you like the Macron signing? Did you like the angle of the control and just telling the stories? Or no? Or did I miss something? Or no?
No. For me, I wanted to change away from Macron, but I don't have a problem staying with them.
Okay.
I like the idea of Nike and Adidas, and I think the big reason that everybody was talking about them is because of Mike Williamson talking about the international ability to get rid to sell kits. So that kind of implied that Macron maybe wasn't it. Or at least it seemed that way, because are they international? Not really. What have they done for this season? Are they setting up just an office, a warehouse somewhere in Europe so that they can post them without the VAT and customs issues that I have been having previously? Probably. But that might be just it. I did say when people were talking about it originally that when they were supposedly in discussions to change, it would have been extremely early, because we would only have arrived in League One. And in theory, they should have been discussing it even before that. So to get a really good deal out of Nike or Adidas probably would have been very, very difficult. So I think we're just a little bit too early to be at the stage of getting a huge deal with Nike or Adidas.
Macron would have paid more though, obviously, in the upgrade.
Yeah, there's lots of different deals though as to which way it can be done.
Yeah.
Are they just being paid for holding the stock? Do we still own the stock ourselves? So are we taking a larger chunk by doing it that way? When you're talking about the massive Nike and Adidas deals, they're literally paying to buy your stock and everything else. They produce everything, they sell everything, they keep all the profit, and they just give you a large amount of money, and you know how much it's going to be. So
I kind of take a different angle on that. I think Paddy's a good angle on it too. And I'll pass to Ken. Sorry, Ken, let me cut you off. I think that it was a loyalty. A loyalty thing. They've been with them 9 years already. That creativity that they want to do has been there. Yes, there's hiccups. I think there were caveats to the fact that like getting the kit, so we can have it out at the right time this season or the next season going through. I think that was all part of it. So, but I mean, would I love a Nike or Adidas or Puma or a Jordan? Fine, great. But I mean, a kit's a kit. You know what I mean? A kit's a kit.
Well, I've just looked up where to buy Macron in Australia. I found a shop that does sell Macron in Brisbane. So that's interesting. And it is
shopping mall.
Sorry?
Shopping mall?
No. It's actually a dedicated store That's not in a shopping mall, but anyway, it's
Mhm.
it's all specific soccer gear. But it's the interesting part about that is what I've noticed is obviously it's free shipping on orders over $200, which is interesting in itself. And just to give you and that's Australian, so I'll give you an idea.
75 cents. Is that $200 or 75 cents in America?
Yeah, well, it's getting better and better. It's nearly dollar for dollar now, the way America's going. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
$150 for an Inter Miami shirt.
Inter Miami are about to play Palmeiras in about 20 minutes.
Manchester City. Oh, that's a genius.
Giddy.
Manchester City, $130. So Arsenal, $150. So about 100. So you don't have to buy 2 jerseys and you get free shipping in Australia. So
well, you know whose jersey you're not going to buy?
Manchester United.
Paul Mullen.
Well, is it worth more now?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Over 100 goals for the club. Got us from National League all the way to League One.
Yeah.
Collector's item.
Yeah, definitely collector's item.
Will he play for Wrexham again?
No.
Probably not.
No. I don't mean that mean. He's not going to play for Wrexham.
No, I'm not being mean.
Yeah.
I'm just it's yes. If we have injuries and he's scoring goals in League One, absolutely he could be called back.
Did you see the latest video that was out where he was doing an interview with them? We didn't show it earlier. Sorry.
No, you have the copy from it, right? I didn't show it though. What is that from? What was that from? That was actually I saw what you're saying.
That was from them, like the first interview that you normally do with a player. So Mullen did one.
Okay.
It was okay, but he was, to my mind, some of the stuff he was saying, he was speaking as if he has actually signed a permanent deal. Not alone. He was almost saying, the way he was talking about my next chapter and I'm looking forward to moving on and stuff like that. It just sounded a little bit more permanent to me.
It's officially being announced as a loan, though, isn't it, Paddy?
Yeah, well, it is a loan. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe there's been discussions on it.
Well, here's a question for you. I'm looking at this website, and I was just talking about Paul Mullen collector's item gear. They're saying I can get free in-store printing services if I took my League One Wrexham gear down there. Put the 10 on it with a Mullen. Is it worth more?
I mean, only because you wore it and sweated in it.
Well, I could just put Ken on it. Put Ken on it and so on.
Yeah. You put enough on it. You put
it'd be worth $1 then.
Yeah. I think Patty said it the correct way. And I want to talk about Tom Lawrence in a second here too. I think Patty said it's goodbye. It's goodbye for now. Sorry, but not forever. But I don't think he's going to be back. And you said, I know you had some good quotes in there. I did see it. I saw it in there. I mean, you're right, but I think he's got to be that way because if he's over, like, kind of looking over his shoulder.
I get that.
Yeah. I hope he does well. I mean, I hope he does well. I really do. And again, to the show, Wrexham Reloaded, he doesn't fit what we're trying to do. I'm not saying character wise. We need better players. We just do. For the championship. Does that make sense too? Yeah.
It does because our target is the top of the championship.
Yeah.
As well. So it's not just being in the next league. It's striving to get out of that league already. So yeah.
In the manager carousel too, and you guys were talking about last night on the Champ Chat. Tomorrow the show is up, by the way, FYI. The Champ Chat is up for tomorrow. And I have a new title for you guys, just FYI. It is Fresh Paint Old Walls. There you go. Fresh Paint Old Walls.
Fresh Paint Old Walls. Okay.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Do you think that the manager carousel for the championship is going to have an effect on the league?
Yeah, it always does. I think it generally hurts teams.
Yeah. But going into it, having 18 teams out of 22, 20, what is it, 20 or 22?
Well,
yeah, it was 14 teams did some change, but some did multiple. Yeah,
some did more than one change, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's an
That's a lot.
interesting story, that, isn't it? Because it depends on the nature of the change. So and expectations of that particular team. Like, if a team's expecting to make the playoffs, like Paddy was talking about in the show, and they don't, and they're nowhere near it, they're making the change because they just hate the manager, or a team's close to relegation and they change the manager because they don't want to get relegated and they think that's going to save them. Kerr is a classic example of that. Mark Robbins, classic example of that, who came in and did just save his team. I think that, they're two very different storylines.
Yeah.
And reasonings for doing it. Now, either way, it's still a disruption.
It's still a disruption, and
it has to be. Like, a team has to formation.
Yeah, and time of season affects it as well. Like, if you've done it early after the last season, then they get the full summer to be speaking about who's coming in, to be changing tactics and stuff like that. Not everybody gets that. So some are worse than others. But it's a disruption no matter what. Yeah.
Is Wayne Rooney coming in?
I wouldn't be surprised to see him at some point. Somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
I would.
Oh, look, I know, he's not a manager, but the way stupidity is in Championship, I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And does it play into Parky's favour that he has this stability?
That's where I was going with it. The stability of Parkinson, and I think he's going to be back. I think we're going to get signings. I think there's going to be a couple like barn burners. It's going to burn. Next day, take a shot, you'll be okay. But I think that's going to happen. Yeah.
For me, I'll say this now. I think a change of manager would hurt us a lot. It would be far too much disruption, because we have been doing this for years with Parky. His style, his way, and it's not the standard way. Which means almost any other manager that comes in, unless they are used to fighting fires and they have done it previously with other teams, that's a dangerous thing to do, that sort of switch mid-season for us. Unless we are absolutely on fire, then I think we are better off surviving to the end of this season, barely surviving relegation, if we have to, than doing a switch late in the season. But that's just my thoughts, first off.
Yep. I agree with you 100%, Paddy. A change would be terrible for us. I don't think we'll need it. I think
I don't either. Yeah,
I think Parky's going to have a very good season.
I think we are going to surprise a lot of people. Unless we're like 10 games in and we haven't won a game, we haven't had a point. There's no Parky's safe. Yeah. I think Parky's probably safe for the entire season, no matter what happens.
Yeah,
almost. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, Paddy.
There's very little scenarios. I think that it doesn't work.
I think it's a bit like this show. Like, we'll last the whole season and we'll surprise some people.
Yeah, maybe. A non-award winning, we don't need that stuff.
Good or bad.
Yeah,
I think there'll be a bit of column A and a bit of column B.
What's the tenets? Shoot the rehearsal, have fun, and entertain. And you know what? Maybe a little bit of football. There you go. James Lee says Rooney is a League Two coach manager. He needs to be a skill position coach or someone on staff. Set piece coach. That's a good shot right there. And
we need a set piece coach.
Yeah, it'd be really good. Yeah. Good, or a striker coach, something like that. Pat says, what do you think about Lee Forde Academy? Is Lee going to be leaving soon, you think? Great for Forde, by the way. Yeah, Lee's not going to get cut, is he? Lee will be there.
No.
He's got this season in him for sure. Well, he's got lots more football in him, but he's definitely got this championship season in him.
How do you think? Do you think he's gone? Or do you think he's staying?
No. He's staying this season.
Okay. I thought you said no.
Yeah. No, he's staying this season. But if you think about it as well, if you're setting up this academy this season, it's going to take a couple of seasons to grow.
Yeah.
So Forde is currently without a team now again. So it's likely that obviously he will take the main role with it for the next season or two. And then Lee will have to decide his future with football outside of us. And either he'll play for another team or then he'll switch to his business.
As I'm doing that, I will do this. Actually, I just brought up the website, and I'll do this for everybody so they can see what we're talking about. So we are unofficially efficient, just so you know. There it is.
I hate their logo, by the way.
You love it?
It's trash. I hate it.
No, it's good to have an opinion.
And we're live.
It's a little bit dark and angry.
I mean, it's Lee Forde, you know. I love Patty. Developing young talent in Wrexham through elite coaching and mentorship. Our academy supports boys and girls aged 6 to 16, providing a high-quality, inclusive football environment where every player can grow, compete, and thrive. Welcome to ChatGTP. I like that. There it is, Forde and Lee, where Elliot Lee and Anthony Forde, co-founders of Lee Forde Academy, and professional footballers with careers shaped by hard work, dedication, and constant desire to improve. Blah, 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 blah. There you go. Lee and Forde Academy is built for the love of the game. I like that. Our goal is to inspire and guide next generation by passing on the lessons we've learned both on and off the pitch. I like that as well. There you go. There's the two gentlemen. Register here. I might be too young, but you never know. Might be too young. I don't know. But there you go. Good on them.
Make a fake name and register so you get the messages from them.
Yeah. I'll be Joe Burrow. How's that?
Well, there's some interesting comments here. I think Lee is looking to his future. Patrick Oden, how will it interplay with the Wrexham Academy? Or will it not be affiliate? I think there'll be good crossover there. Yeah. I think you might get players that Wrexham Academy hasn't taken on that end up working through this academy and end up possibly showing some potential that the original Wrexham Academy that they didn't show and get into the Wrexham Academy and then might force their way into that.
By the way, speaking of that, Ken, or did the guy that they featured in the last episode, the goalkeeper, get released?
Yes.
Which is fine. So they gave him a bit of publicity on the way out.
It was the narrative of the episode.
Yeah,
people moving on.
Look at that. There you go.
But they didn't state it though.
No, and also, he did have his sidekick, a guy that I've sort of got a bit of a liking for, Harry Ashfield, playing golf with him.
Well, you like Harry Ashfield? That's a new one.
He goes
That's like the Patty Hayton Bolton.
For me, the way the academy is gonna take time to build and develop anyway. The way I see it is a little bit more maybe assisting the players that don't make it.
Yeah,
because we're now getting a bit too high with the academy. We're in the championship. We're hoping to get up to the Prem. Obviously, once we build our own new facilities, Darland is not going to be good enough forever either. And those facilities will likely just get passed back to the school.
Yeah.
So we're going to end up with a Cat 1 academy for the youngsters, which is like the Prem teams if we can get there eventually. So I'd say they're going to try and pick up the slack on the end of it, and people who are getting released or people who are not going to be strong enough to stay with the team, they'll likely help those guys move on, find another club, and keep training or what have you, and also cover a more casual training as well.
Or to that point, to your point, Patty, maybe they get released by the club, they picked up by that academy, right? People develop in certain
different ways,
different ways,
different times,
different ages. You know what I mean? Not just physically, but in your play, whatever it is. So it gives them more of an opportunity, and so this is actually pretty cool. They'll always have an ear to the club. Those two gentlemen right there, Forde and Lee. So that's a good shout right there. Dan says he thinks it's pretty cool. I bet Rob might support it too. I'm sure, and I want to take that on too. I'll pass it back. Is that when they came in, they didn't want to just support the club on the field and off the field, and the players as well. So they definitely will have one eye on it, or someone will from the club. So I think it's a really good thing.
Actually, sure. I think you nailed it, Paddy. I think you nailed it in terms of the players that aren't quite good enough because of the level we're getting to now. Because you think like players trying to just get into football down in regional clubs, lower national leagues, way down the divisions, getting that skill set up, or even just, an avenue, a great outlet for juniors and young kids to go and, have a great outlet and play sport.
Yeah.
What do you think about Beck and Savage? Well, we'll put that on hold real quick, but James Lee's coming in. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Shit. Hook 'em horn. Okay, hold on. Here we go. That's what we did.
What's up? No, I want to talk Academy. I love the Academy thing because I watch West Ham's Academy on their YouTube all the time. So,
okay, there you go. Have your say, brother. Good to see you. Happy summer.
I built it. I said it into the chat. I think what we're going to do, what we should do, my opinion, until we get the Academy firmly established and we can start looking at more Welsh kids, and that we need to look at the kids at Liverpool, at Manchester U, at Man City, the Northern Prim clubs, and those that they cast off that don't make it into their youth teams. We need to start looking to bring them into our side to bring up the quality. I'm not saying Northern Wales kids or Welsh kids can't do it, but I'm saying
so there's a bigger catchment there of more senior players. Yeah.
Also, there's a bigger pool.
Patty understands what I'm saying.
Of course, he just woke up. Of course, he understands. He's still dreaming. Yeah. But a quick question, Academy. Have your say on Mullen while you're here.
I hope he goes off and kicks ass at Wigan. I really do. I hope he goes and kicks ass at Wigan. He's 20 minutes, 30 minutes away from home there in Liverpool because everybody knows he lives in Liverpool. He doesn't live in Wrexham. He gets to stay close to his boy. It's the best of both worlds for him because if he goes and shows that he can still do it once he's recovered from all these injuries, we can bring him back in and at the worst use him for depth. But that's somebody you don't just shove out the door and go, do exactly what they did. Let's send you on loan. Let's see if you recovered and you can regain your form. And if you can, we're going to bring you home. Because he's Mount Rushmore as far as the modern Wrexham. I don't know all-time Wrexham where he stands as far as their players, but he's the spearhead of this takeover.
Well, Patty asked earlier today, will he be in a Wrexham jersey again?
Did I?
I think I said it.
It depends on how he performs this year.
Yeah.
Patty, yes, and Patty. Of course you did. Yeah, yes, and. Yeah. Sorry, say again. Will he? No, not yes or no. Will Paul Mullen be in a Wrexham jersey again?
Currently, no. But I got to see what it looks like this coming up year to make a definitive statement.
I like it.
I don't think it depends on him. It depends on the players that are in above him, whether they get injured or not. Otherwise, he doesn't come back.
If we're in the Premier League, it doesn't matter. He ain't coming with us.
Well, yeah. I think they'll push for playoffs. I think that's the squad that Ryan and Rob is going to let Parky build because Parky actually has money this time to actually build a club. Unlike at Sunderland and at Bolton, he didn't have any money to build a squad. He has a chance to build a championship and potential Premier League club squad, over the next year or so. We'll see.
We'll see. And is Bigfoot real?
I plead the Fifth Amendment.
Okay, James, what do you think of their logo?
Oh, Anthony Forde and
there's the logo. Have a look.
We're live.
I don't know. I can't. It looks interesting. I think they're going to be a private academy that's affiliated with us, with Wrexham.
That's not answering the question. What do you think of the logo?
Great politician.
There you go. That's the answer.
I like what they were going for. I think they could have got a little bit better graphic design for it.
We're gonna get
Rob
banned.
could have hooked them up with somebody from LA or something.
Maybe they'll update the website later.
Yeah.
Or maybe they think they don't need a good one because Wrexham have a shit one too.
Paul Kelly agrees with you too. All right, James, we'll rock you out of here.
What's this little thing?
Welcome horns, buddy.
Yep.
All right, brother. See you soon.
All right, up to town, guys. See y'all.
He loves the logo. He loves the logo. Ken selling homes. All right, should we shift gears? Speaking of, we're talking about not logos, but the Tom Lawrence rumors that are going on.
Yeah, I just had an interesting thought there, which is if we believe that some of these rumors have at least been discussed, like Ericsson and some of these even, if we are willing to even entertain them or consider players like that, wait to see what's going to happen at the end of this season.
Yeah,
when those players don't have another team, when they don't have 3 Prem teams coming in for them fighting over their wages, and it's okay, you're getting older, you're cut, or you go to the championship, we will suddenly become a very viable team for a lot of these players, and we'll be willing to pay a decent chunk of wage compared to other championship teams as well. So look, it won't be as much as they're used to, but if they want to keep playing, so from that point of view, like if whatever we haven't got coming up to the end of the season, I will likely be willing to pay the wages and bring serious older experienced players coming in.
So yeah, this goes to the head-to-head debate. Tom Lawrence is a free agent on our radar. Here's the breakdown of what we're going on. Ken's probably selling houses.
I'm researching here while I'm listening to this happening.
Yeah, so Tom Lawrence, head and heart debate. Is he the next piece of what we're looking at here? He's 31 years old, let go by Rangers. He is Wrexham born. He's out of contract after a stint with the Rangers. And but his resume could turn some heads and think of how it's going down. Stockport County is on it, little keen on him, possibly. I don't know. Though they are also in League One, so obviously we're a little sexier. We just are. Here's a little bit of a breakdown of his resume. 23 Welsh caps. He has 37 goals at Derby County. He's Manchester United youth pedigree. He had 11 goals in 65 games for Rangers. That's not a great return. All gone. Could he have an opportunity to come in? I don't think he's actually a striker. He's more of a technical, versatile attacker, so he'd be that cam role. He can slot in behind a Hardy if that works out, maybe push Hardy out wide. He's a Welsh guy from Wrexham. They might fill that void of, that feel-good factor. I don't know. Is he ready to handle the championship? Another thing to consider. He's 31 years old. It's not necessarily, I don't know, a sentimental signing, but maybe a calculated one. What do you guys think about that? I think we're working more on the forward line. I think we need to, this is what we're talking about that, but I also think we need that midfield. If he could do the midfield stuff, like I know, Patty, you had said vehemently, the cam role is going to be the biggest role we're going to sign. Is this the guy?
I hope so. No, is he the guy? Not in my opinion. No.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I'm with you too, Patty. It's funny, like we haven't signed a local Wrexham guy back. You know what I mean? And it's funny, like I'm not saying he's too old at 31 because he's definitely not.
Yeah.
I'd prefer a 25, 26-year-old. But then they come and if they're good enough for this role and to this and up, then they cost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not aiming just for survival. We're going for impact, and we're going for impact players. And again, I don't mind the player, but I think we need to, that's what I think.
Yeah, fair call.
It's like players that are Welsh getting linked to us. I don't think the club cares one little bit whether you're Welsh, whether you're Wrexham, or any of the history there.
Yep,
Either you're the player they want or you're not the player they want. Because I have already said it, I think that we would have advantages on the marketing side for the club with certain players that we could utilize, but they don't care about doing it. It's like that's got nothing to do with the football. Signing an American player, signing a Canadian player. There are players that just from a marketing angle would make the club a bit more money, would be a bit more useful in interviews and other things, but that's not the football. No. And they have always said they're not going to interfere with the football. They're not going to bring in other aspects, and they haven't. Because I am a little bit surprised they haven't brought in a decent American yet. For all the outside benefits. In theory, a player like that, if good enough, could be utilized and pay his own bloody wages from the exposure that we can use him for. But they're not doing it. They don't appear to be looking at that as any sort of concern whatsoever.
Well,
which is fine.
It is fine. I think. Well, I'll take that point on. In the last episode, remember when we were losing at halftime, and he pulled off Macca and somebody else, and he had a change. What was it?
Brought in Fletcher. Brought in.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that was another game actually. No, sorry.
That was Barney. He brought on Barney on the right and moved Longman to the left.
Right.
Took Macca off and somebody else. Yeah.
Yep. Remember what he said? Remember what Parkinson said? And this is when I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to the guys that
are coming off.
That are coming off. You know what? That I think is the mentality of the players that got to understand. And like I've been in a lot of locker rooms, and so have you guys, I'm sure. But that sounds weird. That sounds really weird. But to be able to say that and understand it, I know he knows he's being filmed, but I'm saying that's the type of mentality of the player that he's looking for. And I thought that was very interesting. That episode had a lot in it. But when he said that, hey, I'm sorry to the players that are coming off. We need to make a tactical change for this, and this. Not for the effort, but it's not working. So boom, you know what I mean? Yeah. I thought that was very interesting.
Normally you get hooked at halftime. It's because you're not working. Yeah. But this in particular, because of the red card, was a purely tactical thing. So he apologized to them and he made it clear that I'm not taking you off because you did bad. I want to change the tactics.
Yeah.
Which I assume they are never used to, him changing tactics on anything. So it's a bit out of the blue and a bit unusual.
Would have been a bit of a shock at halftime.
Yeah. But he never does that. His philosophy is I pick the starting 11. I'll get you to the 50, 60 minutes if I get there. I believe in you too. That said, I thought that was really interesting. And I think the quality of player that they're looking for, as far as, going back to the Lawrence thing, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. But there you go. James Lee says, my dream player is Malik Tillman. He can play midfield, striker, left wing. Is that the guy from Charlotte? Malik Tillman? I don't know who that I don't know. Let's see. And Pat says, I watched that. Okay, they talk about the thing right there. But anyway, yeah. So anything else out there that we missed? We crushed the Forde Academy. We crushed that stuff. There's anything else? I know you guys doing a show tomorrow. I'll probably be around, I think. We killed the Parkinson stuff. Sorry, the Mullen stuff. Ken, update on Down Under Tour.
Okay, well, Down Under Tour. Well, we're only now, today's 24th down here. We're a day ahead, so
23rd.
It's 24th here, mate.
Okay, I guess we got to go on your time because it is in Australia.
Yeah, well, you asked about Down Under. This is Down Under.
Well, plus at this age, it's even UK time has moved.
There you go. Yeah, it's only Josh that's in the past.
Yeah, I'm so past it. Yeah.
So the first game is only 17 days away.
Okay.
In Melbourne.
That's one more than 16.
2.5 weeks.
Yep.
And then we're off to Sydney a few days later, and then they're across the pond to Wellington in New Zealand. So, yeah, very exciting. There is banners now up in Melbourne already advertising the game, and it is coming around very quickly. I know people are getting excited, so I know I'm getting excited. And yes, it is a little bit selfish of me to want the kit drop this week, knowing that it will actually be for sale when it comes here.
They're very slow on the kit drops. I'm so surprised at this. I really am. Yeah, this is
odd
to me.
hopefully they're just good to go, and they're just picking the time to drop them from a marketing point of view. Esteban's question about Ryan Teague, plays for Melbourne Victory. I think it's just rumours. I don't think we'll end up signing him. He'd be a great signing for us. He's a guy that has potential, but I can't see it happening. I'll be happy if it does, but if it doesn't happen, put it this way, he'll be playing against Wrexham in the first game in Melbourne.
Yeah, we're going to look at him. We're going to look at him too. I don't think that's going to happen. All right. So, any update on what you want to do? I know you and I have to touch base with the bar stuff.
With the what stuff? Sorry, I missed what you said.
The bar.
The bar. Oh, you mean the show?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Pre-game, yeah. So not just yet because I'm just waiting on one more thing before I drop that, and then we'll be putting it out there for interest on who wants to come to that, and we might even do I reckon 2 weeks out. So maybe in about another 4 or 5 days, we might put it out there for a special Wrexham Down Under show, just a short one, just for people to register their interest, see if it's out there in the ether, whether I have to upgrade the venue is really the reasoning behind that, because current venue I think will hold about 40, and my scary thought is it's going to be much more than that want to come.
I hope so. Patty, what's your over on the 40?
Yeah, that sounds a little low.
Well, I mean, I know it'd be way low if you boys were coming. It's only me.
You underestimate your pulling power here.
Yeah. We'll be.
I'll take that in a number of different ways.
We'll be there. Patty and I will be there virtually for sure. 100%.
100%.
I don't know where I'll be living, but Patty and I will be there virtually. There you go.
As long as you've got Wi-Fi, you'll be there, Josh.
I have so much Wi-Fi. You don't even read about it. Yeah, awesome.
Well, just on that Teague rumor on Australia, I do think from a marketing angle, something like that, if they were to pull it off, would be cool. Yeah. If you actually had this scenario where you play against Ryan, and then at the end of the match, you have Macca or whatever walk over to him and just go, "You follow me," throw him a jersey. And literally he walks off with Wrexham and then have a marketing video and whatever released saying Ryan Teague has signed for Wrexham. That would he is
a goal scorer. I don't want him to score a couple of goals against Wrexham, but if he did,
you could set it up. You could actually fake a goal. You could actually say that he must score.
Here we go. Paddy's match fixing now.
Yeah, I'm match fixing a friendly.
Yeah, he's match fixing. Don't match. The bet 365. He's like, what the shit?
Yeah,
I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, well, that's good news. We're moving forward. Patty, Pat says perfect. And
I've made it better. Sorry, we're gonna have to throw him a bottle of that coffee thing. Stoke coffee.
Stoke coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, someone will have to throw him a bottle of the Stoke coffee and say, "Come on, this way.
Come on, this way. Let's go."
And a jersey.
Yeah.
And then.
Frankie says, Ken, you should advertise local pundit on any of the morning national news shows. Do you think, at a Sydney pub live? We're working on getting a camera crew there. I'm actually working.
If I get on the Today Show, which is the Channel 9, it's a public thing over here. There's a guy one of the presenters on that morning show, Carl Stefanovic, is an Australian legend. He is hilarious.
Okay, get him on.
He pulls off lots of dumb pranks. He had a bet with a football player last week, and a football player had to go and swim naked in the ocean.
Must have been cold.
It was hilarious.
Oh, man. By the way, Pat says, how about with no announcement, he walks out of the tunnel of random direction news cycle begins? I mean, possibly. Yeah.
And this is just it. So he could be playing against us, or if he has signed for us, he could be playing for us against his old team.
Or he plays halftime.
Oh, halftime. That's it. He plays for them for a half. They go in and get changed, and then he comes back out with us.
Yeah, he signs the contract on the pitch.
Scores a goal in the first half for Melbourne Victory, goes
And
in,
scores,
changes
you know,
in the Wrexham kit, comes out and scores 2 goals in the second half. For Wrexham.
I love it. We're just creating scenarios. Just we were like kayfabe, everything. We're the WWF of podcasting.
Yeah.
You know, there you go.
Well, I mean, look, they're announcing big things down here. I mean, Rob will be very happy. The LA Rams are going to be playing the Philadelphia Eagles
Mm.
in an NFL match in Melbourne
Preseason.
at 2027, I think it is. Oh, it might be 2020. No, 2026. Sorry, 2026. They haven't announced a date yet, but they're playing at the biggest stadium in Melbourne, which holds over 100,000 people.
It's got to be preseason.
No. It's an actual season match.
There's. Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. There you go.
Yep. Yeah, it got announced. Massive news. Like they're saying they want to do one every year in Australia. So Victoria puts up big money for sporting events. It has the F1. It's got that. It's now got Wrexham.
Yeah. I love it. That's great. By the way, kayfabe, by the way, a professional wrestling, the fact or convention of presenting stage performances in a genuine or authentic way. See, kayfabe, just what that might be a new catchphrase for us. Kayfabe. I don't know if you all are actually. I love it. Anyways, good stuff. What else did we miss tonight? Other than Paul Mullen is officially gone and Parkinson's trying to put his team together, putting that puzzle together. What else did we miss?
I think we're there. I mean, tomorrow we're covering the top for Champ Chat. We're covering the top half of the championship. We only cover the bottom 12.
Yep. Got it.
And that's going to be fun, Paddy.
Yeah, it was fun the last one.
Yeah.
First some info that's a little dry. We had a lot of fun with that actually. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's up for tomorrow. I think it's 3:30, but I think it might be a half hour earlier. I put it up to 3:30. I think it could be 3 o'clock. But yeah, that's up for
a half hour later. But yeah.
It's half hour later. Okay, yeah. So it's Champ Chat's up for tomorrow. Anything breaks will be live on the local pundit. Hey, 100 people in here. Please smash that like button, share out. Got to get to 3,001, as you know, and then 50,001. But it's been a good news day, fun stuff, and it's good to see the boys on a Monday, kicking off a Monday. Ken kicking off a Tuesday. Patty waking up at stupid o'clock. There you go. We got a kitty. Awesome. All right, let's get everyone out of here, right?
Yeah.
Go watch LA. Go watch Miami FC versus Palmeiras. It's good. It's gonna be a good game.
Oh, good. Well, get us out of here, boss.
All right, good. Well, okay. On that bombshell. Y'all soon.